Hey guys, it's Pete from Crunch Time Coaching, and today we've got an awesome forehand tip for you. You know what? We don't. I'm not doing this tip today. You want to know why I'm not going to do this tip today for you? Because you need to learn my 7 best tips and practices for winning tiebreakers. Let's go. We're about to get clutch. Well, are you gonna come? Hey guys, so here we are in my tennis laboratory, or it's really just an office. And we're gonna go through my 7 best tips and strategies for playing a tiebreaker. Now, don't worry about taking notes or anything like that, because I've actually made a PDF of everything we're gonna go through, and you can download it at the end of this video. So anyway, number 1 is you gotta know, why are you in the tiebreaker in the first place? You could be in the tiebreaker because you're playing awesome, your opponent's playing awesome, and therefore don't overthink it. Just keep having fun and playing your game, and whatever happens, happens. But if you are in the tiebreaker because you had a big lead and then all of a sudden you started to lose your focus, or lots of times people will be playing a certain way, get a lead, and then they completely change their game plan. Maybe they get a little too loose. They want to go for more winners once they build up a lead. You have to know exactly why you're in that tiebreaker so you can determine if you need to make a dramatic change in strategy, if you got to kind of put on the brakes and readjust, or if you are playing fine and it's just a matter of being a little more focused, working a little harder than your opponent, playing the right shot at the right time. So really think about that. Why are you in the tiebreaker? That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, we're getting ready to start the tiebreaker, and it's your first point on the serve. Let's say you even get the first serve on the first point. Guys, you got to make that first serve. All right, that is so important in my mind. Make your first serve to start the tiebreaker, because if you don't make your first serve, it's not the end of the world. But I do want you to think about this. You're both in the tiebreaker. You both probably have a bundle of nerves going on, and your opponent is probably thinking, well, if I can just get the serve back, maybe I can win this point. And if you miss that first serve, all of a sudden, tables have turned. You're nervous. Your opponent is thinking, okay, great, they missed that first serve. Now I can attack. I might get a mini break. They're getting pumped up. So you don't want to even allow that to happen. Resist the urge to start the tiebreaker with like a big bomber ace. Get that first serve in. I'm not saying push it. Get the first serve in and control the point off that serve. Tip number 3. We want to turn the tiebreaker into a pressure cooker for your opponent. So what you really need to be in touch with is, what does your opponent like to do the least? Just kind of like when Roger plays Rafa. Roger hates the high backhand. I bet you when they play tiebreakers, I don't have any stats, but I bet you Rafa's just attacking that backhand. So if it's somebody who hates hit a high backhand, or they don't like to hit a passing shot, or they don't like to come to the net, or they don't like the low ball, they don't like junk balls, think about what they don't like to do. Rather than you thinking you have to do a million great things, think of a couple things they don't like to do, they don't do well, and make them do it over and over and over again. All right, tip number 4, play with courage. Guys, you're out there, you're both nervous, we know that, and I want you to play a high percentage style of tennis. I think that's generally who will win the tiebreaker. But you've also got to know those moments to where when you get an opportunity, you've got to seize it. The people, they either tend to do 2 things in the tiebreaker. They either go for too much because they want to end the point quickly, maybe they're too nervous to get into a rally, or they push, 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 and when they get the look, they're afraid to take the shot. Don't be afraid, be courageous. Remember, none of us watching this video are playing at Wimbledon. I pretty much can guarantee Roger Federer's not watching this video, although I wish he would. And Roger, if you're watching, I love you. Tip number 5, don't panic. The tiebreaker seems like it's a short amount of time. and it's the first one to 7. So it's certainly not as long as like playing a set. So there's some urgency there. But if you get down 3-0, which happens a lot in tiebreakers, don't think it's the end of the world. Don't start looking forward to the second set. Don't think you blew it. Lots of times that's only one mini break. And especially as your opponent gets up to point 5, 6, and they want to get that 7th point, believe me, they feel like this tiebreaker is taking forever. So if there's no shot clock, you can come back. Don't panic if you get down early in a tiebreaker. Tip number 6. This kind of goes back to play with courage. You got to know when to bring out the big guns. Remember when I said, don't start the tiebreaker by just going for a big bomb or ace. And I almost want to take that back, because if you are feeling it, if you go up to the line and you feel like, man, I feel like I'm going to make this. You just have, it's something that really can't be coached. I mean, we can tell you the percentages of when to play, but when you get a certain feeling in your body and you feel it's a big point, you kind of know when you have that feeling. And having the courage. Boris Becker usually talked about that 5th set, and he believed tiebreakers. It was all about just mental and courage and going for it at the right time. That's the key. Going for it at the right time. You can't go for it on every shot, but when you know the right time and you make it at that right time, that is an absolute heartbreaker to your opponent. And so you want to definitely be thinking that you're not going to play the whole tiebreaker just too conservative. You got to pick your moments to go for the big shot. It can be a heartbreaker and put you over the top. All right, tip number 7 is how to win set point. Now, this is another area where people, just like how they can get up into a match, they can be going along fine. They're up 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, serving for the set, and then all of a sudden they just change what they're doing. They change their game plan. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, maybe they get too nervous, maybe they go for too much. Guys, think about what has gotten you to set point, and most likely that's what you got to keep on doing, and do it with conviction, and you're going to win that tiebreaker. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Those are my 7 best tips and practices for winning the tiebreaker. If you would like the PDF, if you're like, yeah, that was pretty cool, I want to be able to read through that and just always have it handy whenever I need to, what you can do is click here, or if you're on your iPhone or any kind of smartphone, I believe it's over in this corner, and there's usually a little eye there that will slide out if you put your mouse over it, and you can download the PDF. This is Pete from Crunch Time Coaching. It was fun making this video. I got to stay in the warm. It's a little cold out there. That's why I didn't do the forehand tip today. But anyway, it was fun making this video. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my future videos. So you better subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. What are you doing? All you got to do is click a button, then you don't miss any of my videos. And comment if you have any questions on this, or if you have anything you disagree with. Or if you want me to make any other type of video that I haven't made yet, let me know what I need to be doing. All right, you guys are the boss. Tell me what I need to do, and we'll make that video for you. This is Pete from Crunch Time Coaching, signing off. Have a good day.